everyone, and welcome back to my RP-0 playthrough, where we're playing Race into Space against these fine competitors. And yeah, in the last episode we completed our second launch of our geostationary comms network. We're just putting in some time into building Halo 3 so we can complete that network. And meanwhile, we have our Venus approach. We have tech coming done. So before I last episode we were trying to figure out whether we could do a lunar sample return mission. And I think the answer that I essentially came away with is look at some of these things. Where's it? All right. I don't think it's plausible for us to fly a sample return mission on the mass budget that we have. It would have to be LOR. It would definitely have to be LOR. And we just, I mean, even when we unlock the next level of tech, it would be tough to do on a tight budget. So we're probably going to have to just fly a landing mission, which is sad. So let me go ahead and pull that up. No change down here, but we are going to swap this out for that better upper stage. And we'll have a bipropellant set up here. Oops, actually I think I want, yes, I do want that to hold on to. All right, let's grab we'll get it from Halo. What are these numbers? 2.094 and 0.6. Zoop. Okay. Okay. That's reorganized to my satisfaction. So we'll add a few more stages in here and move this away. Now, we want to do our landing. I think we'll just use a pair of attitude jets now. no, right, I had 3 attitude jets. So this becomes a service module. Okay. And we switch everything over to NTO and MMH. Oh, I didn't fix the entry cost modifiers for this crap. Okay, fill that up. Get rid of the hydrazine in this. Fill it. All right. We're a little too heavy. Also, these things need to come back up a little bit. All right. Okay. And you know what? I think we only need 1 antenna anyway. That'll save us quite a bit. Let me just check. Comms. Yes, effective range 400 megameters. So yeah, that's enough. The moon is about there. So yeah. Definitely need a kick stage, that's for sure. Because what's our delta V in this thing? It's going to be around 1,500 meters per second. Let's see, we were at 199, right? 199 and 104. All right. Let's put everything back. Oh, what kind of solar panel is that? That's an ST1. Let's replace it with an ST2. I should have done that for the others, for the Halo satellites, and I didn't, which was stupid. Oh, it is. No, it's not quite centered. Why is it not quite centered? That's odd. Oh, because we're not in absolute. That's why we weren't. That's why it wasn't working. Okay. That's better. You're on 3. Okay. So for those of you just joining, I've decided that it's not really realistic to think we can do a lunar sample return mission before the August deadline. So instead, we're just going to launch another lander, but we're up-teching it. So let me quickly, we can, I think we're now going to be just about mass ratio of 2. No, 104 again. 199. I didn't save us anything. All right, let's see. 199 over 104 is just shy of, it's 1.9. Take the natural log times G0. And what is the specific impulse of these things? 261.8. That is 1666 meters per second. So we need another 1,500 meters per second, I think, maybe a little less. So let's provide that. The 1 kilonewton thrusters are expensive, but that's what we'll use. And we definitely want to put them out as far as possible to lower the chance of this precessing. Although because we're going on rails with persistent rotation, we don't actually have to worry about precession, which is sort of cheating when you think about it. Okay. So this is quite ridiculous quantities of delta V, which means we can chew a bit more science out of this. How heavy is this thing? 15 kilograms. That's pretty light. Yeah, we're going to have to try hard not to fall over, which means that we will now have to rejig this. 0.625. Close enough. And a little bit more height. 199. All right. So this is going to have just be a terminal. Oh, that actually, right, it was only 15 kilograms. So we didn't actually lose that much delta V, to be honest. But let's quickly double check. 199 over 117. So mass ratio of 1.7 rather than 1.9. 1363. So we want a kilometer per second to insert, and then another, however much to. Now, ideally, we'd actually do a controlled insertion, and then a controlled deorbit burn. But us not actually being able to do ideal things means that that's not going to happen. Instead, we're just going to land wherever we land, and hopefully it will be a different biome. It's 2-minute burn time, so that's fine. How heavy is this thing? 634 kilograms. How much will this control? 300, 350? What will it control? 300. All right. And how heavy is it again? 80 kilograms. That's steep. Steep, man. It's actually worse than these things. All right, what if we stuck a few more of them on here? Yeah, it's not as much delta V as I'd like. All right, so we're making this thing quite expensive, but it will mean that we have a controlled opportunity to land. Okay. And we'll fill this thing up. And I don't think this is enough delta V. I really don't think this is going to cut it. We're really hurting for not having the Ranger Block 2 core. We're really hurting quite badly. What could we do? Well, these things are so expensive. How expensive is this thing after unlock? Don't really save much money. All right, how worth it? How worth it is it to have a controlled ability to land? So basically it will cost an extra, oh, except it's worse than this because, oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. We can ditch our avionics before we perform the landing burn. That's what we can do. And not only that, we can perform an unguided insertion and then get below 800 kilograms and perform a controlled burn. Okay. Yes, this is clearly what we must do. So this is, all right. This is how we have to play it. Which size RCS are we dealing with? Start there. And make these things MHNTO. All right, and let's check the priorities. That's at 10. That's at 0. This is at -10. All right. Electric charge itself obviously doesn't weigh anything whether you have it or not, but the batteries that it's held in weigh a heck of a lot, which is why I've removed them from all these. All right, now perfect. Blowfish battery mass does not change with tech level. That's going to require us to support tank.mass changing in a module fuel tanks. That's something we have to code for, and by we, I'm assuming it's going to be me, but if you want to do it, I would be super happy. Because, yeah, we need batteries to change over, battery mass to change over time, or it's pretty silly. And it'd also be useful for stuff like having early tanks weigh more than other tanks, not just for batteries. Oh, oops, right. We want it to be right under. Yeah, see, the plume would hit that, but whatever. Why is that changing, the delta V above? That makes no sense. Am I going to have to calculate this myself? I'm probably going to have to calculate this myself. Weird, but okay. So 947. Oh, oops. Okay, let's try this again. 944 797. That's 434 meters per second. MechJeb is not. Wait, what? Oh, I forgot about these tanks. Right. That's why. Okay. 734 over 944. Oops, sorry, 934. No, 944. 734. It's a better mass ratio. $645. So that'll be enough to almost finish going down to orbit. to low lunar, or almost enough to circularize to low lunar orbit. Put everything back. Oh, wait, no. Right, I'm still doing this wrong. It's almost enough, but not quite enough, so we'll do it this way. We're down to 734, so let's go ahead and, man, this is going to be a tall thing, but oh well. All right, so 742 over no, sorry, 1042 over 742. That's going to be plenty. Natural log. $871. That's plenty. That's going to be fine. Pap, that's correct. There's 1,000 liters in a cubic meter. All right, now let's look at the landing performance. 1624 plus what we calculated there, which was I think around 1300. So we have oodles of delta V. Oodles and oodles and oodles. So we can really control our landing quite well. But let me just quick calculate what this was going to be. It's all of these are 260. Oops, wrong one. It's 261.8, right? Yeah. Okay. Full, it's 199. Empty, it is 117. 199 over 117. Right, 1.71. 1.7 is the mass ratio. Take the natural log. 665 times 261.8. 1363 meters per second. So that's plenty of terminal landing. So we can really control where we come down quite well. Let's move this down. It's the maximum impulse. We'll put the maximum impulse there. Weight, mass is 0.00 grams. That's worrying. All right, well, at least now it's 0.01 grams. Okay, so this is an odd thing, but it'll work. I think it'll work. And we're landing a biosample on the moon, so we'll get some extra science from doing this. Nakarani, no, because this Nakarani asked, shouldn't the landing legs be down a stage? Because no, this is the propellant tank for lunar insertion. We will burn it pretty much dry. We may come up a little short. That's fine. Then what we do is we spin up and detach our avionics and this excess propellant tank. Then we burn these as a retro stage so that we get down to about, what, like 500 meters per second velocity. Then we toss it, and then we have this stage up here as the terminal landing stage with its landing legs and its additional 1.3 kilometers per second delta V, so that we can really finally determine where we want to land. Best part is these things are throttleable because they're RCS, so they pulse. Nakarani, you're absolutely right. I should actually put the RCS down here and drop the RCS too, because the RCS won't do me any good once I lose the avionics. And that will marginally increase the delta V. Actually, not so marginally. Interesting. Oh, and actually MechJeb is calculating this about right now. So let's, we don't need quite that much delta V for either of these things. Could get away with fewer engines too. Might get away with just 3 of them. Because a 2-minute, 2-minute burn really isn't actually that long. It's not actually going to materially decrease things. This LV can push 1.14 tons TLI. So we're well within our limit. But let's, so trust but verify. Look at the numbers. 4162 plus 4264 plus 4309 minus 3250 is 9485, which is plenty to get into orbit. So yes, we're well within this launch vehicle's capabilities. So yay. And this will take 76 days to build, so we're probably going to have to rush build it some, and we're going to have to build it before Halo 3, that's for sure. But boy, am I going to be screwed over if it fails. So now, of course, it'll fail because I said that. But I think what I would do in case it fails is try to launch something on a Beagle that I rush build. With this stage, because the delta V to GEO is not much less than the delta V to land on the moon. It's only like a kilometer per second less, give or take. What do we figure? 2450 plus 1900 minus 3150. Yeah. No, it's like. All right. So 1200. Yeah, it's about 1.5 to 1.75 kilometers per second short. So we might be able to get away with using a Beagle with a Bengal upper, like for GEO launches, and do some tricks to make our lunar lander as utterly light as possible. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, let's go ahead and build this. We actually could get away with not rush building this at all, but I'm not going to take that risk. So we just spent a cool $12 million. But it's going to complete in 45 days, which means we can rush another one in another 45 days. So, just in case. So yeah, I refuse to live dangerously. So remember that these funds are already in thousands. So that's we have 476 million right now. 476,000 funds, which is $476 million. So let's go ahead and check out how our happy little Venus probe is doing. Can get rid of this. Okay, how are we doing for sunlight? Pretty well. All right. Now, our time delay is 3 minutes. That's pretty brutal. Well, 2.5 minutes. So let's look at what our arrival is going to look like. Okay, so where's Earth? There's Earth. We are coming in on the wrong side of Venus, as I feared. So let's plot a maneuver node. And let's see what we can do to fix this travesty. If anything. We may not be able to do anything. There's really not... So yeah, we could do that, which I think is going to be what we want to do. Yeah. Yeah, Nakarani, I'm not as brave as you running that low a balance, but I agree with you in theory. The reason I'm keeping the 500K around right now, or 500 million, is because we're about to unlock engine nodes. And also, I've already unlocked flight control, and docking ports are hellaciously expensive. All right, so we're going to go ahead and perform this burn, I think. Because I think I want to have comms during my close approach, if possible. So, Oh, we're in warp, aren't we? All right. That was a bit of a cheat, because MechJeb instantly killed SAS. But I don't want to wait 3 minutes. Okay. A line like that. Let's go to map view and watch what happens. All right, 300 kilometers is fairly low. Now, the great and abiding problem with this is that we simply don't have the alignment that I want. Because what I want to do is come in like along, but Venus's gravity is strong enough that it will pull us in badly like that. So I think this was the better call of how to approach. Poor quality photos, but I think we'll have better comms. Because Earth will be more and more behind us. So we'll want to come in behind Venus if we can help it. So, very well. Let's reorient. Such that we have good coverage on the panels. Let's turn SAS back on and wait for that signal to arrive. Okay. Good. Now, we still have a fair amount of delta V. So let's go ahead and update this to 0. Oh, whoops. Yeah, 5 minutes is fine. All right. So that's in 7 days, 5 hours, and 23 minutes. So actually, broadly, there's nothing better to do, so we might as well just ride it there. I don't think there's anything better to do right now. What is that flickering about? Don't know. Let's do our SOI transition. Let's get rid of this alarm. So we're going to go through 7 days of this. Yeah, the direction of this encounter is just not great. Hopefully I made the right choice about which side of Venus to come in on. The cool part is it's going to give us a bit of a retrograde kick, which is going to involve our post-Venus orbit. Oh, no, oh, right, I guess it's actually, that's intriguing. It's, huh, all right. It's, right, I guess Venus rotates retrograde. So we're actually going to get a prograde kick, and it's going to raise us to Mars orbit. I bet it's actually going to... Target position at closest approach. Where's our position at closest? What? That makes no sense. Claims that that is our closest approach to Mars. That seems unlikely. Seems quite unlikely to me. All right. And we are in the Venus sphere of influence. Now this is, I presume, going to be after Sound and Fury. So let's transmit all the things. Nakarani, the problem is we don't have an antenna that will reach to Mars, so we would have to do a, in opposition, we would have to do a conjunction. Mars mission, and those are hard to get. PAP, that is great. PAP is talking about how eventually we'll be required to have certain payload sizes. 3 meters by 5¼ meters. What the heck is that? That's like literally Dorian sized. Nakarani, it is a problem to the extent that it makes you unable to complete the contract. Because you have to be, you have to transmit data from Mars while you're at Mars, as I understand it. Nakarani, I think it's part of the... We could order the contract such that you have to get near Mars, and once you do that, counts as completed, and then you have to transmit data from Mars. I think we could... PAP, I think we can write it that way. What actually, PAP, what is the... what? Well, let me look in here, because it'll tell me in here, too. Lunar Venus flyby. Flyby Venus... Oh, it's just transmit sign days from space. Fly within... Yeah. Okay. No, you could complete the contract that way. Because it's... Oh, could you? I think you maybe couldn't. Transmit data. We're going to blow another capsule on this. I think you maybe couldn't because I think the way the contract works is for the contract to complete, you have to be at an altitude of 20,000 kilometers or less. And you have to either have already transmitted science or then transmit science. You can't transmit science later because that objective will no longer be true by the time you leave, and it doesn't stay completed once you've completed it, I think. We could make it stay completed because I think it's under a vessel parameter group, so that's safe. And it seems only fair to do that. Pap, what do you think about that? No, Karani, I can't do that here because it's a race. Yeah, Bill, these are not stock contracts at all. We literally use no stock contracts whatsoever. Yeah, these are all contract configurator contracts. See if we get anything other than Midlands. Probably not, because Venus does not rotate fast. Look at how little our longitude is changing. It's hilarious. Gravity scan. Oh, Pap says it is set to disable on state changes true. Ooh, man, if I knew that, I would have... Man, when is this Mars window? It's in a year. All right, well, going for that Mars window, that's for sure. That's cool. That's cool, I'll take that. Actually, it's not implausible that this thing could do a Mars flyby at some point. Certainly not this year, probably in like 5 years, but... I wish you could arbitrarily set the target indicators ahead a few orbits. Because I want to know... Oh, yes, you can, actually. What am I saying? Of course you can. You can cheat it like this. Yep. Oh, that's close. Look at how close that is. However, that's in almost 3,000 days. So not really a viable. I think we're going to have to launch our own thingy. Oh well. But this will be fairly close to Mars in 7.5 years. Yeah, Pap, I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about if the other one was not disabled on state change, then all other objectives would have to be complete while you were under 20,000 kilometers. All right, let's get closer to Venus. Why did we warp down? Confuses me. Oops. Yeah, actually, I'm going to set a perigee alarm. Well, pericithero alarm. Type periapsis 1 hour before periapsis, just to be sure that I don't overwarp. Oh, we're back in the Midlands again. Gradually speeding up. Can we see Venus from here? Let's find out. We are coming in on the dark side of Venus, which is not awesome. Not awesome at all. Can't see much of anything, to be honest. Let's go to locked, so I get my orientation right. All right. So we're rolled inverted, which means it should be I would have thought above us, but the sun is above us, and I'm pretty sure we're on the dark side of it. So I'm confused. Oh, no, this is looking straight ahead. All right. And, there's Venus. Okay, so we can see Venus. The sun, so Venus was, where was it? There's Venus. All right. Come on, get back. Shoot. Okay. Now we can actually see things. Warp up. We're still over the Midlands. Now we're back to the Highlands. Pap asks, do I have a trick for how I have my KSP install set up for testing things like this new resource? What exactly do you mean by how it's set up? You mean so it loads fast, or so it doesn't interrupt this, or what? Oh, okay. 5 hour, what? We're 5 hours to periapsis? Why won't it tell us what our time is to, that's interesting. It won't actually tell us what our time to periapsis is? That's rather interesting. 1 hour. Pap, yeah, I would suggest strip as many parts as possible. And the problem is you still need to, the other thing, you make sure that, well, yeah, you're going to be forced to reload cache every time. So you can try ditching. What you should do is see if it loads fast enough just with as few parts as possible. And also, you can try it without RSS itself. That will make things a little faster. If it's still unbearably slow, then you can try selectively deleting some of the Realism overhaul patches. Because, like, if you don't have anything from Bobcat or anything from FASA, then you can just delete those from RO suggested. and that'll strip down your patch loading time. Some of the problem is what's really slow are all the globals. So that will... All right, we've completed the contract. Venus Flyby. We got almost $100 million out of it. So Pap, what are you exactly testing? All right, that's synced. Because if you're just testing contract generation and stuff, you can probably do it without Realism Overhaul itself. As long as you have the resource defined in the contract, then you can just test the contract in a stock KSP install with contract configurator and RealFuels. I'm not sure what exactly you need to have tested. All right, so Saturn Fury, when he hopefully updates, will, I assume, have arrived earlier and get the bonus for that, and therefore get the bonus money for that. Sorry, we'll get the leader flag and get the bonus money. I just said bonus twice. It's the limit 5,000 kilometers, I think. Oh, okay. Then all you need is Proc tanks, RealFuels. I don't think RO patches RealFuels and Proc tanks at all that matters. So yeah, just Proc tanks and RealFuels. I mean, the dimension, so the stops will be in 1¼ meter rather than 1 meter in a Proc part, but that doesn't actually matter. You can always just define it more precisely. So yeah, you just need Proc parts and RealFuels. Well, and solver engines, and you know, all the stuff that RealFuels depends on. All right, now we can do bunches of things. So we've used our last biosample. And boy, is it taking a while to transmit. All right, let's look at our orbital configuration with comms. Where's the Earth? Let's have no target. Look at the Earth. And yes, I think I was correct in my orbital configuration decision. So I think I would have had worse comms coverage near Perry-Cythera if I'd come in on the other side. Not certain, but I think so. Okay. And let's get ready to move science to the core as we collect it for later transmission. Wait until we get a different biome. We're still over the Midlands. Are we going to be over the Midlands for a while? That's disappointing. There we are. Well, I think we still have comms. I mean, I think we're about to lose comms, but we still have comms for now. So we'll get what we can get. Okay. It's a big old planet. We're only getting the same 2 biomes. That's tragic. That's super tragic. We're at least coming in on the brighter side of Venus, which is nice. So if this thing had a camera, then... Blowfish, I think that this means that Sound and Fury did. He said he got a 90-day transit, and I got like a 110-day transit. Because he was willing to spend more delta V and use a lighter probe. Because this is a very heavy probe by probe standards. So I presume he's going to beat me. But we'll see. Can't imagine he won't. I mean, because he launched a while ago, and it was only a 90-day transit. Because I certainly didn't launch 20 days before he did. Yeah, I think it's Brachystochrone. All right, we're definitely approaching Pericytherian. Our descent rate is bottoming out. Yes, I chose wisely. Look at that. We're still going to be in comms for Pericytherian, just barely. Ha ha. Okay. Nah, we got lowlands again. Dagnabbit. We're just cycling between midlands and lowlands, which we've already gotten all of. Super tragic. It's pretty. It's a very pretty ball of death. Ooh, new biome. All right, I queued these up simply because if we lose comms for some reason, well, we haven't hit persetherian yet, although we're about to. For some reason, if we lose comms during this, then I'll have them saved up and we can transmit them after we get out of Venus's shadow. But it looks like they're all transmitting fine. So that's cool. Yes, the besetting sin of KSP is perfect information. We got volcanic rise now. That's awesome. The besetting sin of KSP is perfect information because the reason we're able to hit a sub 300 kilometer persetheron in 1953 is because we have perfect information on what a persetheron is. Persetherean, whatever it is. If we had only approximate data on what our trajectory was going to be like, then we would have much more realistic constraints. All right, let's see if we get any further surprises. Surprise bonuses. The good thing is we're coming in fairly polar. Our inclination is 147 degrees. Yeah, now we've lost comms. But that was not a new biome. That was a biome we've already gotten data on. That was also a biome we've already gotten data on. That was also a biome we've already gotten data on. Come on. Man, it's flipping back and forth so fast. Lowlands, Midlands, and Highlands we've already gotten plenty of data on, so that doesn't do us any good. Convention Underking, you're right that if the point of the game is like precise piloting of probes, then yeah. But yeah, if the idea of the game is broadly programming the maneuvers probes will make, or designing lightweight probes that will function well, or figuring out what missions to undertake when, or literally anything else, then it's fine. That was a lot of the gloops. What is going on here? Why did SAS decide to... That was weird. That was quite weird. Okay, now it seems to be locked. Again. Nope, not locked. Weird. And we're back into high space, and therefore we have gotten all the science we can reasonably expect to get from Venus, with the exception of some gravity scans, which are biome dependent in the high space. I have no idea why we're spinning. That seems odd, because we're spinning different ways each time. Gravity scan, and we can transmit it, which is great, because we're back out of the comms shadow of Venus. Let's look at our science totals. Holy macaroni, that's a lot of science. Can't spend it yet, but well, this was a highly successful scientific expedition. I'm now slightly sorry we didn't take like a 3-kilometer dip into Venus's atmosphere, because that would have given us another ton of science, but that would have been kind of foolhardy in some ways. Let's see if we'll get another gravity scan at all. As the curvature of our orbit reduces, Venus rotates so slowly that we're not actually going to change biomes much. Goodbye, Venus. You gave us lots of science. You were a good planet, even though you're a fiery, hellish death. Man, RSSVE is so pretty. What is our time to escape? 1 day and 24 minutes. All right. Okay, and we escaped. So, goodbye, happy little probe. You served well. Back to Space Center we go. Shame we literally have no... I don't think there's anything we can actually spend that science on. I don't think there's a single thing we can spend that science on, because we're waiting for this, and that's not for 309 days. Although it's actually going to be quicker than that, because we're going to upgrade the VAB. Oh, that's the other reason I'm saving money. Because we're going to upgrade the VAB. I'm going to immediately invest in the second build rate, and how. And that will double our build rate and cut the remaining time for R&D in half. No, Mr. Bond, they're both part of the same mod. They produce 2 icons in the toolbar. So yes, you want to bring up the toolbar icon that looks like a Google Maps little push pin, and that's here and now. The other icon is the one with the X is the database. But the push pin icon tells you what's available to you right then you haven't done. And it allowed me to avoid RemoteTech's time lag. Oh, look, Scatterer took a day off again, I guess. All right. So, oh, while I'm here, I should probably unlock that docking port. Doobie-doobie-doo, utility. Where's... Oh, I bet it's under coupling. Yep, it is. Go away. All right. That costs $48 million. Holy crap. Well, we don't really have a choice, so we're going to spend the money. I hope there are entry cost modifiers for the Apollo docking system, because I don't want to spend another like 100 million on that. So yeah. Let's go ahead and load up the Beagle. Sorry, the Eagle. I'm so used to my first capsule being called Beagle that I just assumed that would be the capsule. All right, so here's ye old Beagle. 417 meters per second. Okay. 390. However, we can now go to bipropellant. And instantly, drastically increase our delta V to almost 600 meters per second. That's about double what Gemini had. So that will be more than enough for any kind of docking missions we want to undertake. I'm tempted to think about, we still don't have fuel cells. Dagnabbit. That's 156 watts. All right. It's possible. It's just possible that we could put enough solar panels on this puppy to make it last for a week. However, it seems a cruel and unusual punishment to stick somebody in this can for a week. So I don't think we're going to do that. That's cruel beyond reason. Oh, the escape systems and the escape tower's in the wrong stage now. All right. So this is Eagle Block 3. We'll leave enough for the 3.5 days, because sometimes you have to wait a couple days for a rendezvous transfer. And ideally, we just launch a little later, but sometimes I can't be bothered to do that because I guess wrong. So, yeah. This is Eagle Block 3. So we're going to queue that up, and it's ruinously expensive. And now we need to build something nice and super cheap. So Gemini for a week is definitely cruel, and they did more than a week. But Gemini, the advantage is at least there are two people, and if you get on well, at least you have somebody to spend the time with. Oh, that's bug 5. No, we want bug 4, I think. We're going to try to make this thing literally the cheapest thing we possibly could. So, yeah. This is fairly cheap. How much? What is the wattage, watt draw on that? Delta. Where's Delta? Delta Avionics. 120 watts. Oh, that's not bad at all. Pod is Eagle. We'll call this Nest, because why not? Oh, I didn't move that far enough up, apparently. See if that's right. That looks about right. All right. So let's put some big old solar panels on here. And some antennas. Oops. And let's move the hydrazine tanks and expand them a good bit. So that's more than doubles our hydrazine capacity. Also, these things have to be fixed, given our experience last time. I'm not sure why they ever got messed up in the first place, but they did. Okay, and let's move this one down in line. All right, so that should no longer count as shielded. All right, now oh, son of a gun. I can't do what I actually want to do. So I think I can get around it like this. Docking ports. Now let's merge Nest in. Okay, and okay. Oh, yeah, I can't do it that way. That would be stupid. This is 1.5 meters. So we're going to have to use a different docking port. Different fairing. We'll use this fairing base. 1.5 meters. Crossfeed on. Disable staging. Okay. There, that works. All right. What's our delta V look like? Quite good. So yeah, this is going to be our this is going to be our target for the rendezvous mission. For the, sorry, the first docking mission. And we'll have a few hundred meters per second of reboost with this. Oh, I should action group those antennas, shouldn't I? That would be smart. Okay. So if we align it right, the that solar panel should keep the avionics unit humming along just fine. And yeah, under it is basically a Thor. Okay, which I think we're calling the Akita here. I could not redline the first stage, but I mean, that's fine. All right, so yeah, I think we're good on this. So let's go ahead and queue this up. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that sets up definitely what we'll be doing the next few episodes. And I've been going on quite a while, so I think I'd probably best call it quits now. Happily, our second launch pad will be ready so that we can actually launch Eagle 4 and Nest 1 more or less back to back. In fact, it's entirely possible that we would launch Nest 1 first, assuming it succeeds, then launch Eagle 4 only about 15 minutes later and do a launch to rendezvous. Launch Nest 4 into a slightly higher orbit, such that Eagle can catch up. So yeah, then we won't have to wait a while for transfer window. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Oh, Scatterer is still not scattering. That's tragic. I'm just going to think one more time. Have to wait for, I guess, Blue Diamond and Saturn Fury to advance to see who won the firstest to Venusist. I think that means next episode is episode 20. Wow, we've come a long way. It's been 20 days. Great. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you all later. I may do another stream later, although not of this, of the Soviet space program, because I finally fixed the thermal issue that had plagued this campaign, and it was also what was preventing me from launching my crewed orbital missions in the Soviet program. So now that that's fixed, I can go ahead and finally do that. So yeah, I hope to see you all later this evening, if you guys are still awake. Otherwise, you'll see it on YouTube. Anyway, see you all next time. Bye-bye.